doesn't like lots of draw, so I cut the video.
Okey doke.
Is Jerry coming or just zooming?
I would assume he's zooming
Okay,
since he's been having
is he still having, yeah,
get back home. I didn't ask him. I spoke to him today, but I didn't ask him.
Hey there, Ryan. Well, we're being recorded, so we're limiting chit chat. Chaos is, yeah.
we're just patting, you know, let's. See, oh, that's just.
How was your Christmas?
Tremendous.
Oh, good. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Did you get everything you wanted and more?
No, all your dreams come true.
All blows down to the look on the kid's face when they put a present. That's it.
Oh, bless.
I got that this year.
Bless.
Love it.
Check the box.
Yeah. Love it.
You have family come in or?
No, I've got a.
Oh, my daughter.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
January 29th, he's
He's in
playing in
TJ.
Baltimore. He's
Johnson. Care for the church here. For
He,
church.
Oh, yeah.
So
She decorated and all that, and it's been a lot for us all to go there together.
trying to figure out how to throw that across Susan's bow gently.
Hey there, Jerry.
On the other one?
Sherry, help me.
Sometimes.
Ah.
I think so, I'm sorry.
Just has to. Did you have to fight a headwind or did it?
I needed cleats. There were.
I can hardly get to.
I was fine a minute, so we go over the corner, you know, as you getting ready for the straightaway,
Yeah.
and whoa,
Kicker.
all of a sudden,
Jerry, how's your back?
much better. Thank you very much. I'm able to walk.
Yeah.
That's why you and Rob are the same side, because this one is back.
Yeah, I've got that back.
For these invalids, eh?
Well, I could tell it hurt here and it affected the opposite leg.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, I've been here before.
Yeah.
Is it sciatic pain or something?
It's just it's a muscular thing that's attached to this line in a way that I can't explain because I'm not a physician, but anyway, it's just a muscle related to your spine that if it gets fatigued or I think it was stress. I went to pick up a piece of paper on the goddamn coffee table. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean,
So when you
What stress?
ski, when you ski, does it aggravate it or no?
no, you know what I have to do is just a whole bunch of calisthenics. Jack LaLanne, I get the Jack LaLanne book out and start doing the calisthenics.
You shouldn't neglect your core, as they say.
Exactly.
You should not neglect your gums nor your core.
Oh, first.
That's the deal.
Okay, I'm showing 6 o'clock. Is everybody ready? We've got a quorum. Let's get this show on the road. I would like to call the regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen of the town of Georgetown to order. It is Tuesday, December 27th, 2022, 6 p.m. And let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. I am Lynette Kelsey, police judge. Rob Connell,
Here.
Deanne Powell. Deanne, are you there? You're on mute.
There we go. Now I finally got it. I'm here.
Thank you. John is not here tonight, John Jennings. Paul Hinton is also not here. Mary Smith. Rich Barrows.
Here.
Okay, and we do have a quorum. Agenda approval. I just had one thing to add to the agenda. I wanted to. It's short.
It's holiday.
Yeah, I know, but it's important. So I wanted to start, looking at the 2023 municipal election schedule, just so that we don't, miss any deadlines and, you know what we're looking at. Anything else to add? Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended. This,
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as amended. All in favor, say aye. Deanne, you're muted. How do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Audience business. Members of the audience have 5 minutes to present any matter of interest not already on the agenda. Do we have anybody out there? No, not in virtual or in person. Okay. Next we have the payables, and these are the payables from December 9th through December 21st, 2022. Any questions on those payables?
I have a question. In the Strauss Park area, it's that $8.50 for the extra boards to line the stalls was, I thought we had that in last month's or the last.
Good catch. Yes, we did. And it shows that it was paid. So it's not waiting to be paid, but you're right.
Because it was not on the report last time, Dan, it does have to show up on a report. So that's why it's on this one.
Okay, thank you. I didn't notice the little date after the thing on the right side there. I just thought, why are we doing it twice?
The actual dates of the payables are 12/9 through 12/22.
Sorry, I
Okay.
had it wrong on the agenda.
Okay, so let's get that corrected. So, all right. Any other questions or comments on the payables?
I'll make a motion to approve the payables dated 12/9/22 to 12/22/22.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the payables as presented. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Wonderful. Motion passes. Next, we have the minutes from our last meeting, which was a regular meeting on December 13th. Any comments, corrections, questions on those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes dated December 13th, 2022.
Okay. Mary Smith seconded that. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the December 13th, 2022 meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I didn't hear a vote, Deanne.
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Okay. First thing on our action item list is ordinance number 7, series 2022. This is second reading and public hearing. An ordinance amending Title 3 of the Georgetown Municipal Code to provide for imposition and collection of a lodging tax. I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing. It is 6:05 p.m.
Doesn't matter, this says on.
Okay,
It got fixed. Fine.
so, who wants to start us off with? Any intro?
We made a correction to the title as opposed to a housing tax. It should be lodging tax in the title of the ordinance. And I think that's how it's reflected on the agenda. The earlier version that went out with housing, but now it's lodging.
Okay,
So we're fine. So that's good. And it's a sales tax on lodging services, which, as you know, was approved by the electors last November. And so the first section imposes the tax. You know, the ballot question authorizes you to have a tax, but you need to plug it, of course, into your code. And this is what this does. It defines lodging house, because that is a term used in the definition of lodging services, which is also provided. It has the town treasurer collecting the tax separate and apart from the sales tax generally. And so it's not collected by the Department of Revenue, it's collected by the town. And that's what it does.
and we don't have any members of the public here, is that correct?
Nobody on virtual.
Okay,
And I received no emails.
okay, very good. Then I'm gonna go ahead and close the public hearing. It is 6:07 PM.
I'll make a motion.
Before you,
I'm sorry.
are there any comments from the board?
Under lodging services, we were going to add bed and breakfast as part of the definition. And also I would like to recommend that we add motel. Though hotel and motel is used rather synonymously.
Okay, that's easy to do. When we're ready for motion, I can assist the man to my right by adding that language.
Thank you, kind sir.
Uh-huh.
I have a question. Does business promotion have to run any of their plans and costs and possible outgoes in front of the Board of Selectmen before they can go ahead and buy something or print something or whatever?
The budget's already been approved to include this.
Well, I mean, we've had some things, some purchases come before us, but certainly not everything that they purchase has to come before us.
Some of them are detailed in
So,
our 2023 budget.
Correct.
Based on
sure,
collection of this,
sure.
so.
No, we're not, I mean, we don't approve every single item that they're proposing to purchase. It'll show up on the payables, but it doesn't come before our board necessarily before it's purchased.
Thank you.
Specifically, it's under 10 grand.
I think it's $500 for
For the individual.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's higher for.
Sure. Okay, so any other comments or additions that need to be considered or discussed? Okay,
I move to approve ordinance number 7 with the addition of hotel, bed and breakfast in the definition of lodging services.
Motel. Motel. It
Yes.
already says
Did I-
motel, I'm sorry.
I Hannah really set him up, didn't I?
Sorry.
Should be motel bed and
Yeah.
breakfast. I'm sorry.
So. I'll second that amendment of motel and bed and breakfast to the ordinance number 7.
okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 7, series 2022 on second reading with the amendments discussed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm opposed.
Okay. Motion passes.
They've got,
Next. Pardon?
they've got a track record of doing things that aren't necessarily in the best interest of the town, so I've got to oppose that.
I understand. So next item is change to the fee schedule. We're looking at resolution number 22, series 2022. A resolution of the Board of Selectmen for the town of Georgetown, Colorado, amending fees on the fee schedule. And this is in specifically regarding lodging tax, registration, penalties, and interest. You want to take that, or does Mary want to?
I'll take it.
Okay,
It's pretty plain and simple. We're just making sure that our fee schedule is updated to reflect what we're adding to our ordinance. It is gonna be remitted monthly, the 2% lodging tax to the town. The registration fee will be $25. Penalties for late filing will be 10% of the amount due. And then last, interest for filing late will be a 1% amount due, 1% on the amount due.
okay.
And these are numbers that Mary and I, went through other towns and how they did it. And then Mary, took all the information and made something that would be reasonable and consistent with other municipalities.
Any questions or comments on this resolution number 22? I did one. So are they being billed for, are they being sent a bill for it? Or are they
No,
voluntary?
I don't know what their sales are. so,
Okay,
Um,
and so the due date for,
is the 20th of the following month,
okay,
same as Department of Revenue.
You did send out a letter.
Yeah, they did get a letter with
okay,
the registration form and the monthly filing form, which the monthly filing form is also on the website.
okay,
Now, hopefully within the next 6 months, we can streamline this where it may be able to be done online a little bit.
Okay.
They can email me the form and maybe pay online, but have a one hurdle at a time.
sure, okay. All right, any other questions or comments?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution number 22 series of 2022.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution 22, series 2022. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm opposed.
Okay. So that motion passes. Next, we have resolution number WWE 3, series 2022. A resolution of the Board of Selectmen for the town of Georgetown, Colorado, approving a fee schedule for water and sewer fees. And this is for the additional fee for failure to meet the deadline for the backflow and cross connection reporting that's required.
Well, you summed that very well.
Okay.
Because that's exactly what it is.
So, Rob, you're wrong.
Oh, hey, I move to approve resolution WWE 3 series of 2022.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution WWE 3 series 2022. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, we have the memorandum of understanding for the solar company that we've been talking with.
So after much discussion, they went back to their board to discuss this. And what was very fascinating is we're the only municipality that has ever asked to change the MOU, but that's the Georgetown way. They did take out the goal language, and they just wanted to make sure they understood. They weren't necessarily trying to put goals on us. They just wanted to make sure that if we did have goals to help reduce carbon and other kind of things, that those would be included in this, not so much to trying to get us to do anything. So they just want to make sure they're going along with whatever goals that we had. Second is their system is only set up for 2 options. And
Options for.
for a subscriber to choose which nonprofit that they would want the money to go towards,
Okay,
the benefit. They said come this February, they are changing their system and that would allow up to 4. So anyways, Jen and I put together a list, and in order to make this complete, we have to add which 2 nonprofits that the subscribers can choose. So we tried to make it as easy for you, but also allow you to make the decision of which 2 of these nonprofits. And so the list includes Historic Georgetown, Inc., Georgetown Trust for Conservation and Preservation, Hotel de Paris Museum, Georgetown Community School, the Georgetown Library Association, Georgetown Community Center, and Georgetown Energy Museum Foundation. We do recognize that there's other nonprofits that are connected to Georgetown more in the county per se, but we tried to just narrow it down to the ones that were exclusively for Georgetown and let that be the list that you choose from, if that was acceptable to you. So I'd like to hear how you guys would like to proceed the 2 nonprofits.
Can it be changed every year or every other year if we want to?
Yes, you are correct.
And it can also be enhanced in February when they go to 4. So we're really only talking for probably a month or 2-month period. So.
John is with us. From Jennings.
hi there, John.
So in this temporary 2-month period, we're asking that you would select 2. And then we can come back.
So I'll throw out the community school and the community center. Because I think they're all encompassing of. Without having a narrower field of a mission.
I like those 2.
I like those 2. That's a
Okay.
It came across very blurred. Which 2?
The community center and the community school.
Thank you.
Mhm. John Jennings has a thumbs up. What about you, Rob?
Who am I to disagree? I just thought Historic Georgetown, having lived in one of their rentals, probably needs the money, but we can go with.
Well, there's not a single nonprofit here that doesn't need the
Yeah,
money.
exactly.
They've got,
No, I think the community center and the community school would be tremendous. That school needs a lot of money.
Specific to the school and not the district, our community school, yeah.
okay. All right, sounds like everybody is agreeable with those 2 choices at this time. All right, any other questions on the memorandum of understanding? Okay,
I move to approve the draft MOU between the town of Georgetown and US Solar.
with the addition of the 2 nonprofits,
With the addition of the 2 nonprofits, should I amend them? Yeah.
please.
The Georgetown Community School and the Georgetown Community Center.
Hey, it's been moved and seconded to approve the memorandum of understanding for US Solar. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent. Motion passes. Then we go on to staff items. Let's start with the town administrator's report and task list update.
Were you gonna do the municipal election schedule after that then?
We can put it at the bottom.
On the bottom?
Sure.
Great. So this was a short week last week. I did give you just updated what things I was working on. Code amendments are still moving forward. Jerry's still working on them. Jerry and I have spent a lot of time talking through other things such as Excel. And where we are currently at right now is we have reviewed an agreement that they would like to work with us in order to receive $18,000 funds to go towards the replacement of the intake filter, and that's the guts. But after looking through this agreement that they wrote up, it feels too much that it's heavy on narrative of what happened. And we're not in agreement of what's the narrative of what's going on. And then second is, what this is forcing us to do. Like if we agree, then we also agree to this, which would be, we would have to agree to a watershed protection permit. We would have to agree to never doing anything else, holding them forever harm. I mean, it was more things that it was a little too, I mean, even legal terms, it was a lot of heavy legal terms in there that convoluted what we were attempting to do, which was a good gesture to move forward, being good neighbors to each other. So what we have done instead is Jerry and Cynthia Covell, our water attorney, together, all three of us kind of wrote a response of saying, thank you, but no thank you. And we've decided that what's best is to kind of go back to the original drawing board, which is let's get you to do the watershed protection permit and include all these things that we've asked you to do, and then we'll move forward. It's just not at this point wise for us to sign away for $18,000. So Jerry, if you have any more to add.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There was just an effort by them to kind of load everything up in return for this one rather small check having to do with the filter. And that's the tail wagging the dog, really. And it was not a good deal. And so we're going back to them, and I think we'll figure out a way to deal with the reimbursement for the filter on the one hand, and then deal with the watershed protection permit, which is the town's main game and an important game, and it's got to be comprehensive. Secondly, and so I think we'll probably break them apart.
Yeah, and that watershed protection permit would include two things, mainly the elbow, the penstock cutting and putting an elbow in it, so now water goes into the creek, and the trash rack replacement. But then we're asking all the conditions of the sediment containment plan, environmental plans, turbidity, water sampling, sediment sampling, and so forth. And so there's a lot more that we are saying we need to agree on, even what you're going to be testing and how deep the sediment testing is going to be. So there's a lot of other things that we still have to come to terms
Is
with.
iron and manganese going to be one of them? I mean, it should be.
Heavy metal.
Iron and manganese is probably a big component in the waters up here.
Okay. Iron and manganese.
I remember those two being on the list.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a big thing been working through, and then various small projects, letters written out to look at the Rutherford stables. That was one that we had to take some time digging in the files about. And what we've concluded is going through the files was the special use permit that typically that you would see that runs along with code. Typically, you see conditions where it stays with the land, so that if it is sold, transferred, somehow it runs with it, so they don't have to come back and amend it. But in this case, it didn't have the language, and when they came back, it was a little confusing. I believe Jerry Dahl was involved at the time, and then Tom Hale wrote a letter in 2013 analyzing it, and his interpretation was, though I don't see it, it's considered a legally non-conforming use. And based on that, we will grandfather it in as long as you stay in the parameters of that. Meaning, if you let this lapse over a year, then you lose your status. And so that was pretty good, consistent with that situation. All parties were acceptable that. And then we decided to write a new letter from this administration that we continue to use the same interpretation, so that now it can stay in their file and it stays in their family as long as they use the livestock / forced use on their property within a year, then they're fine. So, and then a couple other letters I was working on the last couple of days, but that's about it. Getting ready for Christmas.
Okay.
We did our state, the state CDPHE came to look at our water plant and look at all the systems. And so far, they gave us a thumbs up that we're looking good. We're going to have to replace our table handheld turbidity, testing unit. It's very old, and they said that the numbers are not being, it's not consistent, even though it was recalibrated, but it's so old that there's many, I don't know, 5 units newer that they said it's time to replace that. So,
But Hawk is not, cheap. They're very expensive and it's,
expensive, yeah.
it's hard for any board to come to realization that that's a normal price for such a
Yeah.
small piece of analytical equipment.
So heads up, it's probably gonna be about $5,000 to get this. And what this does is we have a testing system that's built into our system that we can look at all times, but we need to have one at all times to double check. It's a redundancy. And then when they come out, they look at both of these to see how accurate this is. And so it is pricey.
Do you have the service contract? Where they come out quarterly or every so
I
often?
don't have it, no.
Okay. They they have that option if you want. It's again, not cheap, but the one thing that's nice is when you go through a sanitary survey, they see that Hawk sticker that they've been there.
I see.
It alleviates a lot of questions.
Yeah, it's good to know.
Okay.
That's all.
All right. Any questions for Rick? Okay.
I'll say one other thing, sorry.
Oh.
My mind's just
Go
going.
ahead.
We are in the process of trying to bring a solution to our lake situation right now. So we have thin ice that's kind of underneath the bridge flowing, and it's been thawing, freezing, freezing. And this Sunday, we had 4 people fall in.
Oh, good yesterday.
Yes,
Monday.
Monday. So we had 4, we had 4 people fall in. And so what we've done is put up temporary signs, and those signs have blown. And so we're trying to figure out something that would be stronger, but just letting you know, and it's really hard on all of us because the police can't stay there all day long. I went out there for hours yesterday and today, and I just don't know what you can only tell people scream so much, like stay off that, but they're drawn to it. So, but we're looking at possible solutions for next year, and that's going to be pricey. So we're looking at buoys to be able to have weighted down so that they don't sink after it melts, but they could be a permanent, but it's going to be thousands of dollars that we're considering
For buoys?
for buoys. Yeah. These
Oh,
municipal grade buoys are,
okay.
they're not.
I can make you a buoy.
So just another situation
From New
to
Jersey.
be aware of, and I am aware of it. But,
Yeah, and you have dummies.
yeah. Yeah. And Kevin Buckley is working on doing pouring this week for the approaches for 22nd Street.
Because it's gonna snow the next day or two. Yeah.
I picked the perfect time.
They poured footings today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Out of wind blowing.
Because the
Yeah.
wind was blowing.
yeah.
Okay, that's all.
All right.
I have a question. So you just brought up pouring. What about 8th Street for the sidewalks? Is there an update?
I have no update. They are still, the last, we're still working on making the connections. Once they make the connections for the fiber optic line that they cut on Rose Street, once they give us the clear, then we can give the clear to ESI, and then ESI will come and do all of it and not do piecemeal.
Oh, we lost John. Okay. All right, and then you had
Oh, yes. And the last thing is, Congressman Joe Neguse is going to be sending his representative to Georgetown, Julie Suter, and she would like to spend some time with us, hearing from Georgetown our concerns, issues, ideas of things. And so in the process of making sure that time is not spent, frivolously, but I would like for us to schedule a work session to kind of prepare ourselves before we even meet with her to take this information back to the congressman. So can we pick a time in January that we do a work session just to, and it would be hopefully 30 minutes at the most, but to come up with some thoughts to be able to take it back to her.
Would it work to just put it on to a regular meeting? I mean, you know, unless the agenda's huge, I'd kind of like to
So,
stack them.
so one also, you know, I was hoping to do it maybe the first meeting of ours is to kind of do a year in review, just to talk about our highlights, successes and struggles, so that you'd be aware, you know, it's a year in review. So it's a time to feel good in the sense of what we've celebrated and accomplished together. So that would be one work session. And I don't think it would be wise to put two of those things together. So maybe it's up to you guys. We can wait till the end of January to do that year in review, or the first. No,
And we're ready to do the next meeting on the 10th.
I will be ready.
So then why don't we do the Joe Blues work session on the 24th? I mean, they're not pushing for and that would give us ample time to schedule something in February or March. Is
That works for me. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. 124 it is. Is that okay, Deanne?
Sure.
Okay. And the last thing that we wanted to talk about tonight was what the election schedule looks like for next year, and Jennifer has pulled out some dates.
Yeah, so the first thing that's going on is the nomination petition forms that the candidates have to pick up and get signatures for. There's a whole packet. There's actually a few other forms that they need to fill out. The first day to pick up all of that is January 3rd. And then, you have 2 weeks to get the signature. So then they're due January 20th. If somebody does miss all of that, and they want to just be a write-in on the ballot, which means their name is not listed, the person has to physically write it in. That's kind of where they get the name from. They do have to fill out an affidavit, and that is due January 27th.
Okay.
So that's what we've got going on. And I am gonna put this on the website, and it's posted at Town Hall, Library, and Post Office. And if anybody has any questions, are welcome to call and explain it.
Okay, and then by are there other dates that follow up after that? Those are really the most critical ones
That's what's
for
going on.
January.
Yeah, I mean,
I just wanted to make sure.
well, I guess the ones that would be important is the last thing to amend any signatures on the petition form. Because say if someone's not, they thought they were registered, but they're not to vote, then that's due February 3rd.
Okay,
And that's also when they can withdraw their petition if they decide not to move forward with it.
okay.
Yeah.
So, and then if we could, would we be able to get a full schedule on the 10th at our meeting
Sure.
on the 10th?
Yeah.
That would be great. Okay. And there is one open position in each of the wards, and a police judge is up, so.
Yep, and we don't have any ballot.
April 23rd or April in April.
It's April 3rd, isn't it?
April 3rd, yes.
April 3rd.
Mhm.
It's always the first Monday in April.
Yep. Okay.
And I'm working on the judges, so.
You know, all the money I'm gonna have to spend on campaign buttons.
Just make sure it's not public money.
Okay.
Right. Campaign finance.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't
Just
cash
get your-
in, don't cash in your town car.
Get a rat on your car.
There you go. Anything else that we need to talk about tonight?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. It is 6:35 PM. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.